everybody, welcome to the MaffmanJones movie channel. I'm your host, John MaffmanJones. Today's featured movie is Winchester. Wait, if you clicked on this video, you already know this is not for Winchester. And also, who cares about Winchester? I guess some people do, but I'm actually here to talk about Cloverfield Paradox, aka God Particle, aka the movie that we thought was coming out later in the year, but turns out already out now, but a couple days ago we didn't know that. So yeah, I saw the commercials for Cloverfield Paradox, and naturally, having work at 7 o'clock in the morning the next day, I said to myself at 10, 11 o'clock at night on Sunday, I'm gonna watch this. It's got good elements, but it's not a good movie in my eyes. It's the weakest of the three in this Cloverfield franchise that we have now. We have a fourth one on the way coming in theaters, I think, in October, that involves World War II. But I don't want to get off topic here. The plot for Paradox involves a crew of smart people who are in a space facility, and they're trying to find universal energy to help solve a big crisis going on Earth at the moment that could tear itself apart. And it's this God particle thing, and once they get it to work, it transports them somewhere unknown, and they gotta find a way to get back home before it's too late. And without getting into spoilers, where this crew is transported involves other dimensions and some trippy stuff. But yeah, is this movie good? I wouldn't say so. Again, there are elements that make this movie worth a watch, but there are other elements that definitely let you know, if you've seen movies before, that this is not quite the theatrical experience that you would expect. It makes sense that it didn't come out in theaters and it was sold to Netflix for distribution, because you could tell it just looks cheaper, it feels cheaper. You could tell visually that even compared to the first two Cloverfield films, that if you saw this movie in theaters, it wouldn't feel right. It seems like a step down in quality. But there are good qualities that I will mention now that include some of the visuals, just the ideas of visuals, and body horror that is displayed, as well as the acting. Everybody acting-wise is really good. You have great people like Gugu Raw, who is the main actress, and she carries this film through and through. She's the only character you really care about because her backstory seems to have relevant weight. David Oyelowo, I really like him too, and he doesn't have much as a character, but his acting carries through. Chris O'Dowd is the only actor I have a real problem with in this movie, because I love Chris O'Dowd. He's great for comedic elements, and in a different movie he would work better, but he seems to not work here because he's delivering dialogue in a way that feels way too off the cuff and way too comedic in tone. It shifts the tone as well, because there'll be moments where things feel really heavy and he'll come out with something and just take away any weight you had emotionally investing in the film. I also enjoy the element of surprise in terms of certain characters, how they are picked off, and just seeing where the story goes, because really, this plot is so trippy. The overall story has been done before, plenty of times before, in better movies. I mean, including Life last year, which I liked a lot more, Event Horizon, and a couple of the Alien movies, and name a couple. But just seeing where the story goes was fun for me, just because I wanted to see how it ended up. Where it literally ends up at the end frame of the film made me laugh out loud in confusion. This is how you connect the Cloverfield story to this? It was ridiculous. But it was fun seeing the story progress from beginning to end, just on the way of who's going to survive and how is the surviving characters going to get out of the situation. But the plot also doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and I understand when we're dealing with other dimensions and other trippy things, nothing really needs to make sense, but there should be some kind of grounds for rules where, at least as an audience member, you could get some idea of what's happening, so that when really weird things occur, you can at least buy into it. But certain things are hard to buy into because we have no real understanding of how this world works. And also the fact, again, that Chris O'Dowd reacts to certain situations in very lighthearted ways makes the movie feel off. The gimmick of seeing a little Slusho bobblehead and hearing about Cloverfield and the world that this is connected to can only get me pumped up and into the movie for so long. The rest of the movie has to be carried by other things. Without the main actress's performance here and her story, I think I would have been lost completely in this movie. The other elements that seem through after that initial gimmick is over are enjoyable enough, but nothing special or spectacular. More forgettable, to be honest. But overall, Cloverfield Paradox, it's not damaging to your soul in terms of its quality. but it's not a good movie either. It's got elements that, if you're a fan of the Cloverfield franchise and you're a fan of sci-fi and goofy sci-fi, there are things that you may find enjoyable here. But it's definitely the weakest of the franchise, and there are things that are definitely going to confuse you about the connectivity, the tissue here that is connected through all three movies. If they're really trying to connect this thing, which seems evident based on this film. It's a very mixed bag, but it's worth a watch if you're a fan of Cloverfield again, and I'm going to give Cloverfield Paradox a 2 out of 5 stars at the Sam Worthington. One of the most brilliant marketing tactics for one of the most not so good movies out there right now. And it's unfortunate that I could definitely realize why this went to Netflix and not to theatrical release, but it's cool that Netflix has properties like this on there now. And hopefully the fourth entry into this franchise reinvigorates people's interest in this, because Cloverfield is a franchise, it still feels like a Twilight Zone type of thing, where we're getting vastly, wildly different things from different directors, but also have some kind of connectivity with Cloverfield. So maybe the World War II film will be better. We'll see. But now I want to know from all y'all, what did you think of Cloverfield Paradox? Did you enjoy the marketing tactic? Were you watching the game when this happened, and were your mind blown? Let me know anything about this film in the comments down below. If you enjoyed my review, please like this video, subscribe so you'll never miss a video from me ever again, and check out my social medias and my Stardust page down below. I'm John Maffio, aka MaffmanJones, and I'll see you guys at the next review.